Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC. Big Liverpool stories dropping today. Jamie Carragher makes a bold Enzo Maresca prediction. Trent Alexander-Arnold stands firmly with Mo Salah, and Carragher delivers a passionate plea amid fresh transfer talk. Plus, a revealing chat with Thierry Henry on why Hugo Ekitike was a huge gamble for Liverpool. Don't blink, this one's packed with drama, opinions, and inside insight. Jamie Carragher makes big Enzo Maresca prediction amid fallout from Chelsea Liverpool legend. Jamie Carragher has made a bold prediction about Enzo Maresca's future after the Chelsea boss claimed his worst 48 hours at Stamford Bridge due to lack of support. Jamie Carragher has claimed he doesn't believe Enzo Maresca will still be Chelsea's head coach next season, after the Italian's comments that he's lacking support at the club. After the Blues secured a 2-0 victory over Everton on Saturday, Maresca revealed that the following 2 days had been his worst 48 hours at Stamford Bridge. Speaking after the Everton match, the ex-Leicester boss explained, "This is the reason why. I praise the players because with so many problems, they are doing very well after a complicated week. The last 48 hours has been the worst 48 hours since I joined the club because many people didn't support us." Maresca declined to elaborate on his comments during Monday's pre-match press conference, ahead of their Carabao Cup clash with Cardiff. The 45-year-old simply stated he had nothing to add. When pressed about his earlier remarks, Carragher has now weighed in on the situation with a damning assessment, suggesting he can't see Maresca being at Chelsea when the 2026-27 campaign begins. Going forward, where can Maresca go that's better than Chelsea? "I'm not sure," Carragher told Sky Sports. "Now Chelsea as a club will feel, we can go and get another manager. They could. Could they get someone better than Maresca? Maybe. But when you look at what's gone on at Spurs in the last couple of years, what's gone on at Manchester United in a couple of years, you can easily go and get a manager who is not at that level. Maresca can go up against any manager, as he's proved. Whether it's Pep, Guardiola, Arne Slot, Barcelona, Champions League. He's more than capable tactically and as a top coach." Carragher went on, "I don't think Maresca is manager of Chelsea next season. I think when you come out and speak on your ownership like that and you start going public, it's a big problem. I don't see him there next season." Chelsea take on Cardiff on Tuesday, hoping to secure their place in the Carabao Cup semi-finals for the second occasion in 3 campaigns, having previously reached the showpiece and fallen to Liverpool at Wembley in 2024. Looking ahead to the clash, Maresca said, "Football is full of these kind of games where the favorite one, they can lose and they can drop out. These are the worst games for this reason. That's why we need to pay attention. It can be the 3rd semi-final in 18 months, and it's something important. To have the winning mentality, you need to win games. Otherwise, the players don't believe you. Since day one, we are trying to win games. And tomorrow is another chance to be there in another semi-final, no matter the competition. It's an important moment for the players, for the fans, for the club, for everyone." Trent Alexander-Arnold supports Mo Salah as ex-Liverpool star fires clear double message, "Mommed." Salah recently starred for Liverpool in their 2-0 win over Brighton after being left out of the squad for 1M. Trent Alexander-Arnold has publicly backed his ex-Liverpool teammate Mohamed Salah following the Egyptian's recent social media activity. Salah has found himself at the center of heated discussion over the past week after his post-match comments following the Reds' draw with Leeds United. Liverpool boss Arne Slot opted to leave Salah on the substitutes bench for 3 successive fixtures earlier this month, sparking an honest response from the Reds' No. 11 in a media interview after the draw at Elland Road. Salah claimed he had been thrown under the bus by the club, whilst also claiming he had no relationship with Slot. The fallout saw Salah omitted from the Liverpool travelling squad for their Champions League fixture against Inter Milan last week. Though the 33-year-old was back amongst his colleagues for the Premier League meeting with Brighton at the weekend, Salah shared a wordless Instagram post featuring a graphic highlighting his status as the player with the most goals and assists for a single club in Premier League history, reports the Liverpool Echo. Alexander-Arnold responded to Salah's post on Instagram with a goat emoji, a nod to the Liverpool forward being the greatest of all time. The pair were teammates at Liverpool for 8 years until Alexander-Arnold departed the club last summer to join Real Madrid just before his Anfield contract expired. Ex-Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson also chimed in on Salah's post, which gathered over 280,000 likes, leaving a crown emoji alongside a red love heart emoji. On Saturday, Salah returned to action for Liverpool, coming off the bench as the Reds secured a 2-0 victory at Anfield. The Egyptian set up Hugo Ekitike's goal and was warmly received by the Anfield crowd in what proved to be his final outing before jetting off to represent Egypt at the Africa Cup of Nations. Slot provided insight on his decision to bring Salah back into the Liverpool squad for the Brighton win, though he remained tight-lipped about their private conversations in the build-up to the match. "No. For me, there is no issue to resolve," Slot said after Liverpool's win over Brighton. "For me, he is the same as any other player. You talk to your players. If you are happy or unhappy with things, but there is nothing for me to talk about after what happened against Leeds." After the game, the reason he wasn't in Milan was his interview. Everybody has a different opinion about that. Should he be once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 4 months, 12 years? Every manager makes different decisions about that. He wasn't involved in the game against Milan, and I spoke to him yesterday. As I usually never say anything about what we talk about, I am not going to make an exception now. What has been said between the two of us in that conversation stays between us. What you see is what you get to know. He was in the squad and my first substitution. And all the other things have been said in that conversation I never speak about. When I speak to Virgil or Mo or any other player, I never tell you guys what we talk about. But actions speak louder than what has been said. He was in the squad again, and when I had to make my first substitution, I brought him in and he performed as every fan wanted him to, including me, would like him to perform today. Jamie Carragher issues passionate plea to Mohamed Salah amid Liverpool transfer. Thierry Mohamed Salah returned to the Liverpool squad for the 2-0 victory over Brighton after being dropped for the game against Inter Milan following his outspoken interview. Jamie Carragher doesn't believe Mohamed Salah has a long-term future at Liverpool, but has urged the forward not to leave the club next month. The Egypt international returned to the Liverpool squad for the 2-0 victory over Brighton and Hove Albion after being dropped for the Champions League win over Inter Milan in midweek. Salah was dropped as a result of his outspoken CL interview after the draw with Leeds United, in which, among other things, he said he had been thrown under the bus by the club and raised questions about his continued stay at Anfield. The club will continue to talk to Salah's representatives while he is away with Egypt at the Africa Cup of Nations. But Reds boss Arne Slot insisted there was no issue to resolve with the forward after the win over the Seagulls. Saudi Pro League clubs are planning to step up their interest in Salah when the January transfer window opens next month, but Carragher, speaking on Monday Night Football, delivered a passionate plea to the 33-year-old in which he urged him to reconsider a potential departure next month. He said, "I don't see Mo Salah playing for Liverpool next season. The big thing in my mind is, are we going to see from now until the end of the season? Now we know he is going to AFCON, AFCON will finish in mid-January. Now, it is obvious that he has got an issue with the manager, but I want to give credit to the manager. He could have easily said Mo is not involved for this game against Brighton. He will get to AFCON and we will sort it when he comes out. But he thought it is bigger than me and it is about the team. And it is more important that Mo Salah is on the bench. And he made a contribution in the second half. Last week I was giving advice to Mo Salah and his agent. And I'm going to do it again because what you saw at the end of the game against Brighton was Mo Salah doing a lap of appreciation. A little bit emotional with the cop there, and he's probably not sure himself if that is his last time at Anfield, if he is thinking about moving on. I would urge him to think again. And the reason I would say that is if Mo Salah is to move on from Liverpool now. The talk is he would go to the Saudi League, which is talked about over there, but probably nowhere else, except when the transfer window is open. Now, Mo Salah is not going to leave Liverpool to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid. I have just mentioned the Saudi League. Now Liverpool in the second half of the season, they could get to an FA Cup final. They could get to the Champions League final. Can you imagine Mo Salah in Saudi, playing for whatever team he is playing for? Watching Liverpool come out in Budapest in a Champions League final? You come back at the end of January. You have got 3 months. Okay, you might not get on with the manager. You will start some games. You will be sub in some games. You won't come on in certain games. Salah walked around the Anfield pitch after Saturday's win, clapping all sides of the ground. But Carragher believes another reason why the forward should stay with the club is to ensure he gets the send-off he deserves.
I spoke to Thierry Henry about Hugo Ekitike. He was a big gamble for Liverpool. Hugo Ekitike joined Liverpool from Frankfurt during the summer transfer window and has started very impressively, racking up 10 goals in all competitions before Christmas. Micah Richards has revealed how he spoke to Thierry Henry after Hugo Ekitike signed for Liverpool in the summer, and the Arsenal legend warned against expecting too much from the young Frenchman during his first season in England. Although Liverpool committed over $100 million to signing Ekitike, he was an unknown quantity to many when he made the move to Anfield in the summer transfer window. Ekitike had a good season with Frankfurt in the Bundesliga last season, scoring 22 goals in 48 games, but Henry was not sure at the time of the move to Liverpool whether his compatriot was ready to make the step up to the Premier League. When Liverpool got Ekitike in, I was convinced it meant that Isak was no longer happening, Richard said. Then when it came back to the table, everyone thought Isak was the final piece as a tried and tested striker. I spoke to Thierry Henry, who knows him very well. He said, he is going to be a very good player, but we have to see if he is ready for the Premier League. It was a little bit of a gamble. We knew what we were going to get from Isak. It seemed like Liverpool only went for Ekitike at the time, because they didn't think they would get Isak. Ekitike has been by far the most impressive of Liverpool's many summer signings, and scored his 9th and 10th goals of the season in all competitions in the 2-0 win against Brighton on Saturday. Gary Lineker, who was speaking with Richards on the Rest Is Football podcast, is a big fan of the 23-year-old. Ekitike has got it all, Lineker said. He can beat players, he is seriously quick, fantastic in the air. His movement is exceptional. He looks like a huge talent to me. After netting his brace against Brighton, Ekitike said their W.